In the previous videos, we've looked at what it is specifically that makes code declarative and how to construct a reactive graph based on this core concept. Specifically, that things should not be reassigned after their initial declaration. We've taken a high-level view of this, but in this video we are going to zoom in on one specific node in our reactive graph, specifically this request node. We will investigate how it is specifically that we are able to declare what this value is and how it changes throughout the life of the application without ever needing to reassign it, when we are fundamentally working with data that changes over time in response to many different requests to the backend being triggered, requests which are often competing with each other. So this is what we have looked at so far, using a switchMap that is listening for changes to the page number or filter and then sending a request to the backend. We've discussed how the declaration of this node enables us to achieve our goal of declarative code in a broader sense, but not specifically how this node actually works. And before we begin, I want to reiterate that whilst we are using rxjs here, rxjs is just one method for implementing this reactive graph. The concept of declarative code and reactivity is not something that is exclusive to rxjs. rxjs just happens to be great at dealing with asynchronous reactivity. So let's start by just forgetting the concept of switchMap here for a moment and instead focus on a more standard map. A map takes one thing and changes it into something else. So we are getting the current page number and the current filter, and we want to change that into something more useful, the actual page data for that page with the filter applied. We want to use these page number and filter values to send a request to our backend. So what we could do is map this emission to an HTTP request that is constructed using those page number and filter values. What we would hope is that we would then be able to subscribe to this mapped stream and get the data we want. But this http.get call does not just return the data from the request, it returns an observable that emits that data. So what we want is for our request node to be an observable that emits the data from the backend. But what we have right now is an observable that emits observables that emit the data from the backend. We have an observable that emits observables, which is known as a higher order observable, just as functions that return functions are known as higher order functions. But observable streams that emit observable streams are awkward for us to work with. We would subscribe to our main observable stream, but then that would emit observable streams that we would also need to handle subscribing to. We could have multiple different active streams, all emitting different data at different times, and writing code to get only the specific data we want without being wasteful or creating memory leaks would be a major pain. This is where the concept of flattening operators comes into play. switchMap is one of these flattening operators. These operators turn our observable of observables into just a normal observable. They do this by automatically subscribing to the inner observable for us and emitting that data on our main outer observable. But it's not quite as straightforward as it might sound, because often it doesn't make sense to just emit everything from the inner observable on the main outer observable. As I mentioned, we have all these different observable streams emitting data at different times. Which data emission is it that we actually care about? How many of these emissions do we care about? And do we care about the order in which they are handled? This is why we have different types of flattening operators. Each has a different strategy for how it flattens all of these competing observables into a single stream of data. We will focus on the three most popular: switchMap, mergeMap, and concatMap. First, switchMap, the one we are using and perhaps the simplest. With switchMap, we essentially just eliminate this whole multiple competing observables problem. Every time our page number or filter changes, switchMap immediately unsubscribes from the previous inner observable, meaning the previous observable representing the HTTP request to the backend, and instead subscribes to the new inner observable returned from our request to the backend. The single stream of data emitted on our outer observable will now just be whatever this inner stream is emitting. If our page number or filter change, again causing a new request to come in, it will again unsubscribe from the current inner observable and instead subscribe to the new inner observable that just came in. Something to note here that may cause some confusion is that whilst this technique certainly works for observables that emit many values over time, an HTTP request will typically only emit one value and then it will be completed. However, switchMap is still useful in this scenario because we need to consider that it takes some time before that single value will be emitted on the observable stream. If a new request arrives by the page number or filter changing before that single value has been emitted, switchMap will handle the situation appropriately by unsubscribing from the original request and never delivering that value, instead focusing just on the latest request. In this case, since we are using Angular and its HTTP client, the underlying HTTP request will also automatically be cancelled. mergeMap is perhaps a bit more interesting. In this case, we don't unsubscribe from old streams when new ones come in. Instead, mergeMap will subscribe to all of the inner observables, and anytime any of them emit data, it will emit that data on the single flattened observable, which is basically the simple case I mentioned initially. Subscribe to all inner observables, emit everything from those inner observables on the main outer observable. concatMap focuses on just one stream at a time, and if more inner observables arrive whilst it is already processing one, then they just have to wait their turn. It will wait for the first inner observable to emit all of its values, it will emit all of those values on the flattened stream as they come, and once the first inner observable has completed, it will then subscribe to the next inner observable waiting in the queue. This process will keep repeating such that all inner observables are processed in the order in which they arrived. So the big picture difference between these three is that switchMap only focuses on the latest values, mergeMap emits all values as soon as possible with no regard to order, and concatMap emits all values more slowly but in order. There are more flattening operators that implement different strategies, but they all solve the same fundamental problem. How should we take the emissions from multiple different observables and convert them into a single stream of data? And rxjs allows us to handle all of this complexity by importing and using a single operator. This allows us to create this request declaration without ever having to reassign it. In this case, our request declaration will always have the value of whatever the most recent request to the backend was. If we have used a mergeMap, we might end up in a situation where the value of our request might actually end up being the results for page 2, even if page 3 was triggered most recently, as mergeMap would make it possible for both requests to be executed in parallel, and the request for page 3 might actually finish before the request for page 2. That means the data for page 2 would end up coming in last, and so would be the active data. Whether our application works or not would be left up to chance, which is often the case in many real-world applications. If you like this video, a like or subscribe will be very much appreciated, and I hope to see you back here again.